So amigos, now that you know that Mayas have not disappeared, that means that the culture is alive. The physical evidence is that of where they come from. When a child is born, Mayan child is born with a mark on their low back. It looks like a bruise. Is that okay? Quiero que sepan que la evidencia física de dónde vienen los mayas es que cuando un bebé maya nace con una marca en su espalda baja. Es como un moretón. This mark is known as the Mongolian mark. Okay? Esta marca se le conoce como la marca de Mongolia. Tequila Group. Now you know where exactly the Mayas come from. Where? Mongolia, yes. Ya ahora saben de dónde viene la cultura maya. Mongolia. You want to see my birthmark? ¿Quieren ver mi marca de Mongolia? With music or no music? I'm just kidding, amigos. I don't have it anymore. Ya no la tengo. Solamente estoy bromeando. When the children start growing, the mark disappears. Okay, it's a birthmark. Maybe at the age of 6 or 4 years old, the mark disappears. Is that okay? Esa marca desaparece más o menos como entre 4 y 6 años. Si es que solamente es una marca de nacimiento. ¿Entendido, amigos? Is that understood? Okay, have you heard people saying that Mayas maybe came from out of space? Or that they are in touch with aliens? Yeah. ¿Han oído que dicen la gente que los mayas a lo mejor vinieron del espacio o que están en contacto con alienígenas? ¿Sí han oído esto? Okay, what do you think? ¿Qué piensan de eso? What do you think about that, Tequila Group? Or why do they say that? ¿O por qué dicen eso? Yes, sir.
Their knowledge was so advanced.
You 5 questions less in his exam. Let's give him a hand. First 5. Yes. Because they think they were too advanced for their time. It's right. That's the right question. Maybe we can put it like this. El Señor dice que porque fueron muy avanzados para su tiempo. Es la contestación correcta. We can also say that people don't believe that Mayas went through a process of development. Great development. To the point of designing different sciences. Is that okay? Vamos a ponerlo así. Hay mucha gente que no cree que los mayas pasaron por un proceso de desarrollo de diferentes ciencias. Which are these sciences, amigos? ¿Cuáles son estas ciencias que son importantes en el mundo? Which are the sciences?
Architecture.
Astronomy. You got 5. I couldn't hear you, but you mentioned the sky, so I understood. You got 5. Okay. What else? Architecture.
Yeah.
Arquitectura. Es cierto. Tiene usted 5. ¿Qué más?
The calendar?
Calendars. You got 10. Calendar is the clue. The Maya calendars. The lady answered Maya calendars. La señorita contestó los calendarios mayas. There is not only one calendar of the Mayas. Mayas had many calendars. This is what I'm going to explain. Is that okay? Is the clue to understand why Mayas became so good at different sciences. This is what I'm going to explain. Is that okay? Dice que los calendarios mayas, sí, efectivamente, los mayas no tenían un solo calendario, tenían varios. Y es la clave para entender por qué fueron tan buenos. So I'm going to start. You are going to understand why Mayas became so good at different science. Is that okay? Amigos, do you remember which are the 3 cultures that they made us study in school? ¿Se acuerdan? Ancient cultures. ¿Se acuerdan de las 3 culturas antiguas que nos hicieron estudiar en la escuela? ¿Cuáles son? Which ones are they? Ancient cultures. What? Did I heard Egypt? You said Egypt. Yes, I hear. That's why you got 5. Which is the other one?
China.
Egipto. Which is the other one? Egyptians? Yes, she mentioned Egyptians. The other one?
Romans.
Romans. Claro que sí. You said Roman? You
Yeah.
got 5 more.
Okay.
Look at the line. Big lines. Forget them. We are the best group going to Chichen Itza. Yes, I told you. Tequila. Everybody's gonna want to be part of Tequila group. They're at Chichen Itza. So we have Egyptians, Romans, and the other one? You got it. Greeks. O sea, nos hicieron estudiar los egipcios, romanos y griegos. ¿Están de acuerdo? From the Greeks, we learn their architecture. Beautiful architecture. The Acropolis, okay? Parthenon. What about from the Romans? Conquistadors. They went everywhere to conquer. They had their circus. Gladiators used to fight for their lives, right? Los griegos aprendimos su arquitectura, como el Acrópolis, el Partenón. De los romanos, que eran conquistadores, supimos de su circo romano, donde los gladiadores peleaban por sus vidas. What about Egyptians? Their pyramids, their mummies, right? De los egipcios, sus pirámides, sus momias. What did the Mayas wanted to understand? Because the Mayas are contemporary to these 3 cultures now. Does anybody know? This is for 10 questions less in your exam. Whoever answers this one, or let's put it this way: whoever answers this one is not gonna make the exam at the end of the tour. El que conteste esta pregunta, no le voy a hacer examen. ¿Qué es lo que los mayas quisieron entender? Porque hoy en día los mayas son contemporáneos a esas 3 culturas. What did the Mayas wanted to understand?
How the 3 relate.
Huh?
The intertwinings of the 3.
Well, it's a combination. The combination of the 3. Architecture, the Mayas develop architecture. As a matter of fact, right now that you are mentioning this, the Mayas is the only culture in the world that got to develop 9 different styles of architecture. 9. And with different other details that are impressive. The other combination, mathematics, yes, the Mayas developed their mathematics and their astronomy. But the combination of those 3, what was the purpose? You have a clue. Huh? The years?
To leave here.
To leave Earth. Oh,
Go back to the Mars.
to go back with to Mars. Not really. The Mayas did understood astronomy. But the combination of these sciences was to these 3 is exactly. Mathematics, astronomy, and architecture was developed for what? For
Time and space.
my friend, time. You got it. You're not gonna make an exam. That's what the Mayas wanted to understand. Los Mayas trataron de entender el tiempo. Imagine, this was complicated for that time. You see, this is the difference of these cultures. Esta es la diferencia de las culturas. Los mayas querían entender el tiempo. And you know what? Mayas conquered time. And this is what I'm going to explain or try to explain to you. Is that okay? Los mayas sí entendieron el tiempo y conquistaron el tiempo. Amigos, as I was telling you, yes, the combination of the 3 sciences, mathematics, astronomy, and architecture, was to understand time. Mathematics, the Mayas had their number 0. Yes, it's great. But the most important thing of having the number 0 is to know how to use it in the right position to count for millions. Do you agree? That is what the Mayas did. Okay? En matemáticas, los mayas sí tuvieron la representación del 0, pero lo más importante es que lo supieron utilizar en la posición exacta para contar por millones. Y eso es lo que hicieron los mayas. The Mayas realized that we have 10 fingers and 10 toes. For that reason, their system of counting was of 20s, not by 10 like us. A bigesimal system of counting. Is that understood? En las matemáticas mayas, los mayas se dieron cuenta que tenemos 10 dedos de las manos y 10 dedos de los pies. Por esa razón, su sistema de conteo era vigesimal, de 20 en 20, no de 10 en 10 como nosotros. Okay? When the Mayas developed their mathematics, then they developed astronomy. Después de las matemáticas, los mayas desarrollaron astronomía. They started counting the cycles of the planets. Can somebody tell me how many days is the cycle of the moon? ¿Alguien me puede decir cuántos días tiene un ciclo lunar? How many days, amigos, is the cycle of the moon? I heard 30, but who said it? Who said 30? You said 30? You said 30? Raise your hand, no problem. You are very close. I'm going to give you 2 points.
I just don't want to do the exam.
Okay. 30 is very, very close. 28. See, you got 5. 28 días. 28 days is the cycle of the moon. Amigos, the Mayas related the moon with the woman. The women goes through a cycle every 28 days. Los mayas relacionaron a la luna con la mujer porque la mujer pasa por un periodo o un ciclo cada 28 días. Okay? Then the Mayas started to understand the cycle of the sun, and this is more complicated to explain, but I'm going to give you a great example. Is that okay? Después los mayas empezaron a entender el ciclo del sol, y esto es más complicado de explicar, pero les voy a dar un ejemplo muy importante. The example is that Mayas had tall buildings that were above these trees. That was to be close to their gods, but some of them were used as observatories. Algunas construcciones mayas eran más altas que la selva, que los árboles de la selva. Eso era para estar cerca de sus dioses, pero algunas de estas construcciones altas eran observatorios. Okay? So let's focus at the top of this temple, tall temple of the Mayas. A Mayan astronomer would observe where the sun comes out from. Only from a tall building you can see that. Is that understood? So if he has a point of reference, he will understand by observing the sun every day at the same time when it comes out, that the sun moves to the north and then it comes back. Did I make myself understood? Because when the Mayas understood that when the sun becomes or comes out to the furthest point to the north and then it starts coming back, is when the rainy season starts in this area. And that is the beginning of understanding time. Did I make myself understood, amigos? Quiero que sepan que si nos enfocamos en un astrónomo maya en la parte superior del templo, puede observar por dónde sale el sol, y si tiene un punto de referencia va a observar que el sol se mueve, cada día sale moviéndose al norte y luego regresa, ¿entendido?